The boardroom was tense. The CEO of Ventratech Industries, Mr. Julian Blake, a stern yet fair billionaire known for running a tight ship, was in the middle of back-to-back interviews for a new executive assistant. He didn't have time for distractions. The door creaked open. Standing there wasn't the next candidate. It was a little girl. About 7 years old. Dark curls tucked under a faded pink beanie, clutching a worn folder to her chest. Excuse me, sir. My mom's really sick. She asked me to come. The room fell silent. She stepped forward, placed the folder on the table, and whispered, "Please don't throw it away. She needs this job." The folder was hand-labeled with the name Clara Dawson. Inside were a neatly printed resume, a glowing reference letter from her previous job, and a handwritten note. Greater than I'm sorry I couldn't come. I had no one to watch my daughter and had to rush my husband to the hospital. I understand if I've lost this opportunity. Mr. Blake raised an eyebrow. He asked the little girl her name. "I'm Emily. I helped her print the papers." He offered her a seat and asked what she knew about her mom's work. "She types really fast," Emily said proudly. "She worked nights so we could stay in our apartment. And she always says, never give up, even when you're scared." That was the moment something shifted in Julian Blake, something deep, as Emily sat quietly sipping the juice the receptionist gave her. Julian stared at the note again. It reminded him of his own mother, how she once walked him to every office in town, begging for jobs after his father left. That kind of strength never leaves a child. He picked up the phone. Send someone to the hospital. Clara Dawson is at. Pay the bill anonymously, and get me her address. The apartment on 5th Street. Clara Dawson sat by the hospital bed, where her husband, a disabled veteran, lay unconscious. She hadn't eaten in hours. Her daughter wasn't answering her little flip phone. Panic was rising in her throat until she heard a knock. When she opened the door to her small apartment. She nearly fainted. Standing there was Julian Blake, wearing no suit, just a hoodie and concern on his face. "I believe you were scheduled for an interview," he said softly. Tears welled in her eyes. "My husband collapsed. I couldn't leave." "I met your daughter," he replied. "She's incredible." Julian offered her the job on the spot. Not because he pitied her, but because she had raised a child with dignity, honesty, and courage despite impossible circumstances. He upbraided her husband's care, helped them relocate to a better apartment near the office, and gave Emily a scholarship at the best school in the city. Clara's first day at work wasn't easy. She showed up, held her head high, and proved herself every single day. A year later, Julian revealed something to Clara. When I was 10, I walked into an office just like Emily did, alone, hungry. My mom had passed out from exhaustion. A man turned me away. I promised myself, he said, voice cracking, that if I ever got the chance, I'd be the man who says yes. As Clara accepted a promotion, Emily placed a new note on Julian's desk. Greater than, thank you for helping. My mom, I want to be like you when I grow up. Julian smiled and framed it. Because sometimes, the smallest voice in the room isn't a distraction, it's the echo of who you once were. And who you have the power to help. One child. 1. Act of courage. One man who chose kindness over protocol. Compassion changes everything.